Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, a Tim Burton movie based on the young adult novel by Ransom Riggs. The book is a novel, but it is told with the help of a series of photographs that have been collected over the years from a bunch of various photographers. Now, the movie follows a very similar story as the book, save a few details. It's pretty much the same idea, and we see a lot of those photographs throughout the movie as our main character uses them throughout his journey. So it was pretty cool to see how all of those photographs that are in the novel kind of worked their way into the movie. That was pretty cool to see. But regardless of whether you've read the book or not, here is what the movie is like. The story follows a young boy named Jake who thinks he's going insane because of all of these ridiculous stories that his grandfather told him when he was a child, and now he's starting to see them come to life, and he doesn't know what's happening, and he thinks he's going insane. But instead of going crazy, he decides to follow the clues that his grandfather left him, and he ends up in Wales in this very weird little neighborhood, and this is where he finds Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Basically, Miss Peregrine is this very strange, very whimsical, magical, weird lady. And in her house, she takes care of a bunch of children with peculiar abilities. For instance, one can fly or float, one is invisible, one is super strong, one shoots friggin' bees out of its mouth. They're really weird and awesome. The whole movie is kind of like a combination of X-Men meets Harry Potter meets like Addams Family. Plus it all has that very cool Tim Burton twist, so it makes for a very, very cool movie. And what's cool about Miss Peregrine's house is that it is stuck in this loop in time. They never age, they never see tomorrow, every day is the same day on repeat, and it's all just very timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff, and it's super cool. If you're a fan of time travel or anything like that, you're gonna find this movie awesome. Now, the villain of the story is a group of creepy monsters led by Samuel L. Jackson. And if you don't enjoy seeing a crazy, evil-ass Samuel L. Jackson, then I don't really know what's wrong with you. So these monsters basically hunt for peculiars, which is what they call anyone with a peculiar ability, and they're hunting them because something about these peculiars gives them immortality. And as we all know, evil guys always want immortality. It's just a general rule. If you're a bad guy, you want to live forever. Bad guys are just getting more and more predictable. So the whole movie is basically about Jake learning about himself and learning about his family and learning about his past. And it's also about a bunch of freaky kids beating the shit out of monsters. It is cool as shit. And while this movie is pitched as kind of a kid's movie, it's actually super creepy. The Tim Burton style definitely shines through on this one. Though it is missing a bouncy Danny Elfman score and surprisingly no sign of Johnny Depp or Helena Bonham Carter. Crazy. It is a bit of a different feel for a Tim Burton movie. It feels a little bit more modernized, but you can definitely still see the Tim Burton style in there. Especially with all of the creepy things. There are some freaky, creepy things in this movie. Honestly, if you want to bring your kids to this movie, that's fine. I think it's fairly kid-friendly, but like, it creeped me out. Conveniently enough, there was a little girl sitting next to me who was like about 7 years old or so, and she absolutely loved this movie. Like, she was just sitting next to me making little 7-year-old commentary throughout the entire movie, which usually is annoying, but it was actually just kind of funny. And while throughout most of it she was like super excited about everything, there were some parts where she was hugging her mom and she was like talking about how scared she was, and I was like, yo, don't worry, I'm scared too. Like, I'm about to pee my pants and I'm like a grown-up. Mostly because of these things. What the crap is that? These lanky tentacle Slenderman looking motherfuckers? No. Nope. 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 I'm going to have nightmares about them. And I really just need to ask the general public, like, just let's pause for a second. Is this from something? Because I swear I've seen this before and I have no idea where. Maybe it's just because I've seen Slenderman and it reminds me of Slenderman, but like, I swear I've seen this exact thing somewhere before. Maybe I just had a creepy dream about it and Tim Burton like sucked it out of my brain and was like, oh, this is really cool, I'm gonna put this in my movie. I don't know, he's a really creepy dude. Maybe that's how he gets his inspiration. He just like sucks weird dreams out of people. You know, that would actually explain a lot. Anyways, these monster things are awesome. They're creepy as shit, but they're awesome. And there are a lot of things about this movie that are awesome. You know when you're watching a movie and something really cool and unexpected happens and you're just like, whoa, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. That happens a lot in this movie. There are a lot of scenes where I just did not see it coming and I was like, that's freaking cool as shit. And I think that goes hand in hand with the ebb and flow of this movie because it's just balanced so perfectly well. There's this great balance of scary and funny and creepy and awesome. And it was just paced really well in that way. The acting was also pretty good considering most of the cast was very young children, and they all had really interesting and unique personalities that made them really cool to watch, and a lot of them were also pretty funny. Like, I laughed a lot throughout this movie. All in all, I really don't have much to complain about. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'll probably buy it on Blu-ray. If you're into weird, creepy fantasy shit, or like literally anything Tim Burton has ever done, you will probably like this movie. And your kids will too, as long as they're not little bitches. Did I just call a bunch of children little bitches? Am I allowed to do that? Anyways, I'm gonna give Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children a 4 out of 5. Because while it was a really cool movie to watch and a really cool story, I feel like the plot was a little more focused on the adventure and visual stimuli and a little less focused on like complex character development. I imagine the novel fleshed out a lot of these characters and a lot of these details a lot more than the movie did, but there's only so much you can do with this many characters and this amount of screen time, and I think Tim Burton did a pretty good job with what he had. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is a fresh storybook adventure that can be enjoyed by all ages, regardless of whether you read the book or not. So let me know if you saw Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And also let me know your favorite movie that is based on a book. Mine's Harry Potter, if anyone cares. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm Steph Koza, and this is Rated N.